The reason that I thought it would be good to do a webinar is obviously we have, our new website, but I did want to go over some more of the features with you guys. It is still not at the point where it is completely rep friendly. However, Darren and I met this morning. We have our web developer doing some stuff in the background that will enable Darren to do an upload of information into the new website. Let's see here. One sec. That will enable us to do an upload of information into the new website. And as soon as the developer has the background tools in place, Darren can do that. Darren's already devised a way to upload your customer data into the new website. And from there, once the customers are uploaded, we will come up with a patch to upload their lists. And then in turn, we'll be able to do collection analysis on their orders. There is a collection analysis feature on this website, and I'll go over that with you too. I do want to tell you, first of all, I'm going to be popping around on the website. I have 3 different user accounts. I have one as myself, which is what I'm logged in as now, which is why it says admin up here, and I have a little cute wrench. I have a sales rep one, and I have a librarian one or customer one. That's my way of going around the site and making changes and checking to see how things work. So as I switch my users to show you different things, I'll try to be sure to let you know that I've switched around. Okay. First, I do want to go through some things on the website. So as I say, Noel has given me a status report of what is in there. Right now, all of our core publishers are in through spring. We are double checking to make sure that we have the shell or teacher created materials and turtleback spring titles in there. But other than those, everybody else should be in. So the site should be completely updated with the newest titles. Now that only includes, my caveat to that is that's just books. That's not ebooks. For whatever reason, the publishers give us separate files with the ebooks, and Noel is having to deal with those separately. It's kind of a pain. He is in the process, though, of getting all of those ebooks loaded. So until you get an email from me, probably in a week or so, assume that most all ebooks are not on this new site. After he gets done checking the turtleback and the shell, if he's doing that right now, he'll be inputting the smaller pubs. Just ones that we use very infrequently. When those publishers are in, the next step will be inputting all the trade publishers. There are some trade titles in here right now, but the only trade titles that are in right now are those that fall within Delaney collections, such as if we included a title in, let's say, one of our curriculum catalog collections or Spanish catalog collections. So you will see some trade sporadically through here, but it's definitely not populated in the way that it needs to be yet. We kind of put that as not a last priority, but definitely a lower priority than the core publishers. So in the next week or so, Noel will start loading in HarperCollins, Simon & Schuster, Random House, Penguin, and Perseus. And that basically takes care of most all of our fiction because of all their various imprints. I do not yet, before anyone asks, I don't yet have a firm process in place of how we will go about adding titles like you do now. For instance, if you guys find a title on Ingram and you want to add it so you can add it to an order. I'm not sure how we're going to go about doing that, or if so, I need to think about that a little bit more. Let's see, one other thing before we get into the training. Turtleback, this website came with some Tim, our website developer, has built websites for many of our publishing partners. So most of, or a lot of the stuff, especially this advanced search page, is a base page, and if you go to the Abdo website, you'll see their advanced search looks pretty much exactly like our advanced search. So there are some things on here that we have asked him to change. For instance, I have asked him to remove all of this saddle sewn, sewn, and unsewn book type. And as soon as he makes the transition to get those off of here, we'll be adding rebound. But because we don't have rebound on here right now, all of the books that are in the Turtleback collections, they all pop up as library bound. So that's a little bit confusing right now, but we will change it just as soon as it shows reinforced library binding here, but if you go to any of the collections where you can actually search by binding type, it comes up just library bound. So if we were to change it, to override it to rebound, none of the books would be searchable on advanced search. So for now, it's just a little skewed. So those are kind of my get out in front kind of things that you might just see right off the top of the bat that's a little funky. So I've pretty much walked you guys through this, but I'm going to go through it quickly, just some parts of it very quickly again, and then we'll get into a little more nuts and bolts that we didn't get into last time. So right now we have 4 main pages: library, curriculum, technology, and Spanish. I would love it if the product specialists for those pages gave me input as to what collections should be featured under Delaney Featured Collections for those areas. Because you guys are the specialists, you guys know better than me what's hot, what should be there. And for right now, I've just picked collections from our core pubs and new collections. And we can change these out as soon as we get our spring catalogs and we see what we want to feature. We can change them out with spring ones. So on each of these pages, you will find that that all of the pages are very similar. You have options up here to select. This will just take you to a search result for a featured collection. It's just another way for us to have featured collections. So we have those featured collections, and we have these featured collections down here. And again, these are just ones that I picked because they are core pubs. And in the case of the library page, I picked collections that were in the library catalog because that just seemed to make sense. Also on every page, we have this latest news section. And I'm actually super excited about this latest news section. When we were first delivered the website, I was not able to manipulate this data myself, and I was constantly having to go through the web developer. Now he has rewritten it so that I can do it, and I've actually, after struggling with it because I don't know computer coding, I'm actually really enjoying doing it now. So as I come across new announcements, like you can see the new science books here, the Texas titles, the New York Times. So as these things happen, I can add them to latest news. And it's really cool because when you click on them, and this is what I had to learn how to do the computer coding for. So we've got the collection. Darren and I came up with a nifty format for these types of pages. So we've got the titles, obviously, and then the award symbol that goes with them. And then the little blurb about it. But you can see that this and also that, they're hyperlinks. So this will take you to the search result for that collection. And all of the books are listed, and people can either choose to add one of the whole collection. Now I've got it up in my cart, and it tells me it's been added to my cart. or I can just go down and select the few books that I want. So popping back out here to my feature things, I was just going to show you, oops, one more. I was going to show you the Texas one, because with the Texas, what I've done, because there are just so many Texas awards lists each year, is I've put them all on one page. And, you know, if somebody wants me to feature, I know that in Indiana, they just came out with some new 2017 and 18 lists, and I was going to let you guys know about that. But anyways, if your states produce award-winning, you know, your awards lists all the time, and if you feel that people really base their buying decisions on these lists like Texas does, then get me the book lists and I can make you a page like this Texas page. So we've got the Blue Bonnet, we've got the Lone Star, we've got the Tayshaws, we've got the Mavericks, and then we've got the Little Mavericks, and we've got the Spirit of Texas. Oops, sorry. And we've got the Spirit of Texas. So on these, they're just like the other one. We've got the cool image, and then it shoots them. Oh, what the heck? Oh, I know. I had them going to links while we were still, Darren, you said you fixed these. I had these going to links to the test site, and that's why. So anyways, we'll get that fixed today. But, you know, all the search results are basically the same, no matter if it's, you know, a collection or if it is a single title. All right. Now, in addition to latest news, we have the catalogs on here as well. So if you go to the catalogs, it gives you a blurb, and it allows somebody to open a PDF of the catalog. If you want to send somebody a catalog link, you can copy and paste this link at the top and send it to them, and it will send them a PDF flipbook of the catalog. And my internet's super slow in here today, so I'm not exactly sure why, but it just is. If you don't want to send them a flip book, what we also have on all of our sub-home pages is request a free catalog, but also online catalogs. So online catalogs will take you to all three catalogs, and it will enable somebody to actually download the PDF. So you can send the PDF link if you would like. You can't send the this PDF link because obviously it's not a link, it's just wanting to download it to my computer. I will actually post the old PDF links from the...
You right-click on that, it should say save the link.
I know it. So we'll get that added.
No, try it. Right-click on it.
Right-click on it? Okay. Save link as?
Copy link address.
Yeah. Now it works. We put it in an email.
It'll be like dbooks.com, blah, 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 blah.
Okay, cool. Does everybody get that? Right-click on download now and copy link address. This is why we have Darren, because he's way smarter than me. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So, you know, the pages are, you know, they're all basically the same. They've all got the same footer. They've all got the same header. Up here in Resource Center, this is kind of under development right now. We have Delaney events. This is something I was working on today, and I managed to mess up the coding a little bit. But anyways, I will have to get that fixed. But it will have the conferences, your conference link, which actually does send you to the CSLA conference, booth numbers, who the reps are, and the reps' contact information. So we'll be fleshing this out and getting everyone's stuff up there so that anybody can see where we are at any given time. I like that feature, and I've seen it on a lot of the publishers' websites. So we have catalogs. That's where we just were a minute ago. Library processing forms. People do have the ability to download our library processing forms. These are not the ones that came with this website. They're actually the Delaney ones. And other downloads, currently we don't have anything in other downloads. This is going to be where well, I just said that, but the catalogs are still here, and the library processing specs, and the fees. What downloads was supposed to be, and we just don't have it ready yet, is teacher resources. So that will be in this resource center. We don't have it going yet. There is a downloads for reps, and it's called Delaney Forms. And you do need a password to get in here, because these are all of our forms, and I believe it's DREP. Let's see. Yes. So the password for Delaney Forms is DREP. And these are all the same forms that are on our downloads page of the old website. So it's just one more place for you to get the forms, no matter which website you're on. And if ever you want to get back to the home page, click on our logo. Okay, I'm going to zip into some lists. I'm going to sign out, though, as myself. And I'm going to sign in as a rep. Okay, now do you see I have this little sales tool up here? This is what all of yours should look like too, right? So right now I'm signed in just like you all are signed in. So you can see the look of the page really isn't any different. It's just that you guys have a sales thing, I have an admin thing, and your customers don't have either one. So if you go to sales, you have various sales modules right here. There are other modules that are being added. Right now, all that's here is customers, and it's not quite all the way fleshed out yet. You can see that, and this is why Darren has not uploaded your customers yet. We do not want to do it until this is correct with the correct fields. You can see, obviously, missing fields here. So here's my one customer that I've loaded, librarian test. So if I go to edit this customer, you know, obviously it's missing the school name, the school district, it's missing who is your rep, it's missing a lot of things here. So when I go to add in a customer here, it's just not complete information quite yet. It will be in the very, very near future, because it's at the top of my list with our guy Tim. So, but in the meantime, I've got my customer. I can edit my customer, and once that customer has purchased things, I can see their purchased products. By going to my customers on my dashboard, I can see this would have all of your customers listed here. So you can see them all here. And one of the questions that I was asked via email today was, or actually a lot of people have asked this, how do I link to my customers? How do my customers link to me? Okay, the way that you're going to link to your customer is if you set your customer up in here, it will automatically be linked to you. Because right now, if I log out and log in as librarian test, I see me as my rep. Currently, if your librarian test, your librarian goes in on their sign up, in addition to missing, the fields that we talked about here, their sign up looks basically the same as this. So an addition that is being made is a drop down for who is your rep. That will then automatically link that customer to you. So there will be a double link situation going on. And then when you go into your dashboard and you look at your customers and you click on your customer, not only will you see purchase products here that you can check out, but you will also be able to check out their wish lists and quotes. So it will be hyperlinks to those areas. So since we just talked about those areas, I want to go into those areas. Wish lists and quotes, I think have been confusing people a little bit, and I totally get why. I mean, really, they're essentially the same thing. It's just that people use the word quote when they think of a salesperson, and somebody uses a wish list when you think about it from the customer side. So you can tell your customers to make wish lists if you want. It doesn't matter. They have actually pretty much exactly the same functionality. So if I go to my cart, you can see I've got a couple things in my cart right now. And I don't have anything saved in my wish lists. So I'm going to go out and I'm going to save something to a wish list so that we can see that really there's not a whole lot of difference between the two. So instead of adding it to the cart, I'm going to add it to my wish list. Okay? So now I can view my wish list. So here's what you can do when you put something in a wish list. Oh, also, do you see these up here? This controls your view. So now I compacted that, which is how it should have looked in the first place, not, what is up with my mouse? Not, quite so big like it was before. So you get medium and large. So if you see that your view is looking a little funky, just put it back onto this list view. You might want to give that tip to your customers as well. So now that you're in a wish list, you can do whatever you want with it. You can export it as an Excel file. You can export it as a PDF. You can save it as a quote, or you can add it to your cart. You can add it to your current cart. You can replace your current cart. So right now I have $1,000 in my cart. So I can either add it to it, replace it, which will wipe out my $1,000 up here, and then I load my cart. But if I don't want to do that and I just want to keep this list because I'm a librarian and I'm like, okay, well, I think I want to do some Black history titles. I want a list for that. And then I think I want a list of titles on transportation. And then I think I want a list of titles of Beauty and the Beast because the movie's coming out in March. So you can make any number of wish lists because, something will pop. I would really recommend that you have your librarians start doing this. I mean, if something pops in their head and they're like, gosh, I think I might want some titles like X, Y, and Z, just encourage them to build wish lists. And when they get money or as they have more ideas, they can add to that list. And you can always go in and look at the list and make suggested additions to the list. So you can both be going back and forth in there, and it's really handy. And it kind of addresses the first choice, second choice scenario I know that Follett has. So I do like this option a lot. Once something is a list, again, you'll see rows and rows and rows of lists. You can have as many lists as you want. But once you think you're ready to pull the trigger on something and you're done kind of playing with it, and you think, oh, okay, I got my spring money, so now I want to order that Beauty and the Beast collection, they can save it as a quote. Let's do that first. Let's save it as a quote. So now the description is, we'll just call it new quote. And so again, I'm logged in right now as a salesperson. I'm not logged in as a librarian. So I just made this quote for a customer, and because they asked me for some GRLU books, so I added it, right? Now, I only have one customer loaded into my test, but here they are. So I was able to assign my customer to this quote, and I'm going to submit it. Submit doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything in this quote stage. It doesn't mean that you're sending it into the office. It just means that you're basically loading up this quote. It just means that it has been created. Okay, so now I have a new quote. It has this stuff on it. Here's the customer that I assigned to it. Now, there's a lot of things I can do with this quote. I can load it, I can edit it, meaning I can change it. I can load it. That means add it to a cart so that I can check out. Export it as an Excel. Export it as a PDF. Here's what an exported quote looks like right now. Again, as the fields are added for the customer data, fields are correspondingly being added to this quote. So you'll see that there's a couple missing fields on here. So I think this looks super clean and crisp, and I'm really happy with it. I did make a mock-up of this and send it to our web developer. So what is being changed is that this number is going to be a longer number, and it's going to have a DEE preceding it. The description would be the name of your actual quote. It does show the Edye rep prepared this quote. The customer details will have not this category, but it will say school name, school district. You know, you would have the normal information that you would have for a customer here. This format column is moving over a little bit. ISBN is being, right now this is a Delaney ISBN. It's actually a list ISBN. You can see here the SL. We'll go over that in a second. This is being replaced with a product ID, not an ISBN, so that nobody can take one of your quotes and give it to a competitor. We will be having a list price along with the price column so that people can see at the bottom, or as they go along here, their discounts from Delaney. So this is being altered just a little bit. In fact, I have one second, where is it? Well, I did a dummy one for a rep the other day, and I added the fields by hand. But at any rate, so this, again, is at the very top of his list to get this thing fixed, or I should say revised. So you can do that. Now, if you export it as an Excel file, I know many of you are, a little stressed out going between the two sites. And again, I get it. And if the new site is stressing you out, feel free to just not use it, until we have every one of these bugs worked out. But I do think it's a good searching tool for your customers. So if you direct your customers to the new site, and they do build a list, and you have a list, well, this was a really bad example, though, because that one's not going to be in the old website. Hang on. If you do direct your customers to, or advise them to build lists, wish lists on here, you can simply export them as an Excel file, and then you just import them into the old database and create an SL list. you can do that. I get that it's an extra step and nobody has time for extra steps. But if you do want them to be able to enjoy all of the new features and the new look and the better search capabilities of this site, that is the workaround for the time being. Okay, so you would just export it, and then you would go back to, mouse is, of course, choosing right now to be a pain. You would go to the old website. You'd have a list made, and you simply paste those ISBNs here and click Find Products. So you're essentially recreating their list with just 2 extra steps here. So that is the workaround, and it works. I've been doing it this week for actually some other customers, and it works really well. So, you know, whatever you want to do, really. Now, the other thing that you can do with this, though, is you can share it. God, my mouse. Okay, so you can enable sharing. And when you enable sharing, what that does is you get an email link that you can send to your customer or to anybody, and they can see your list. So if I email this to myself here so that we can all see what it looks like, and I can, you know, customize my message, obviously. It automatically pastes the link in, and if I click Send Email, and if I check my email real quickly, shared quote. So here's my message. To view the quote, click below, and then it says who sent it to them. So now if I view the link below, it just shows me the quote. I can load it and add it to a cart. Oh, because I'm signed in as the same person. It won't let me do it. Well, anyways, you get the idea. It won't do it because I'm trying to be 2 people at once here. Okay, let me go back to here. Okay. So that's a nifty thing with the sharing, and it does enable you, just like you give somebody SL numbers now, it does enable you to share things back and forth. Gina, since it's not coming from our own D email, is there a chance it would go into spam? You know, it's possible, yes. However, we have really strong spam filters here, and the very first time that I did this, it didn't go into my spam. So, I don't know. You could send one to a customer as a tester, send a couple, or just follow it up with an email just to make sure. But like I said, it didn't hit ours. The other thing that you can do is you can copy a quote. So if you were to build, let's say you built a list of Beauty and the Beast books for customer A, and then somebody else came along and said, you know, I really want some of those Beauty and the Beast books because of the movie coming out. My kids are super excited. But what about some princess books too? So you can copy your Beauty and the Beast quote, name it, assign it to a customer, and then add on to that quote the Disney princess books. So again, I know that it's hard to learn, you know, new things, and it's hard to transition from one thing to another. But I think that some of the features on this site are really, really handy, and they're actually going to come in as being time savers for you. I especially like the copy quote capability. I really do. And I've been doing this now, putzing around on these sites as all 3 of my alter egos, and it really does work really well. Okay, and then you can delete a quote. So we've basically done all that we can do with a quote except for load it to my cart. So let's say that so let's talk as if I'm a rep right now. So let's say that I have built some quotes, I've shared it with them, and they say, yeah, go ahead, and I have my money, so I need to submit it for a PO. If you need to give them something that they can submit as for a PO, I would suggest that you export it as a PDF and email it to them. Or you could send them this link. But the export looks, I think, more professional and much more clean, and it has a quotation number, which makes all the purchasing people very happy. That would be my recommendation. For right now, I wouldn't recommend going through the checkout process as a rep on behalf of a customer. I just don't think that's going to be the smoothest way to go right now. But let's pretend. Let me get signed out here. Okay, so now I'm a librarian. Now I'm a customer. So I have $604.50 in my cart. So again, when a customer is in here, they can do the same thing with their shopping carts and their wish list that you can do. They can export it, they can save it. So if they're building a cart, if you've got a customer who thinks they want, again, let's just use the Beauty and the Beast thing. They're looking for Beauty and the Beast stuff. They can initially save them as a wish list if they want, or they can just start throwing stuff in their shopping cart, and they can save it as a quote. Again, there really isn't much difference between a wish list and a quote. The quote just gives you the ability to really shoot out that nice PDF. I mean, there's really no difference hardly between the two. Again, the quote is more salesperson focused and wish list is more consumer focused. So, but again, I'm in as a librarian right now. So I could save it as a quote if I want, because I know I want to turn this into my purchasing office so that I can get a PO faxed into Delaney. Or I've got a P card and I just want to take care of this now. I don't need to send it to purchasing. Or I have a PO number and I don't need to send it to purchasing. So I am going to check out. But before I do that, I want to show you one thing up here. Expand sets. I forgot to explain this earlier. This will show everything that's in those sets. So that's, I just wanted to let you know that you can do that. Okay, checkout. First, it's going to ask for processing information. Now, do not process or district specs. I came up with fake district specs, again, because I'm a fake librarian. So I'm going to continue. Again, I stuck in an address, UPS ground, continue. Payment method. If it's a credit card, they do go to a secure credit card processing link. They can enter in their card, and their card will be charged at the time that we accept the order here in the office. But I'm going to say purchase order, and I'm going to say PO number 123456. My comments are need ASAP, because everybody does. And then, did a sales representative assist you? Here's where they can select their sales team. And this does show up when the order is submitted to our office. So they hit continue. And then it's going to say, do an order review, please. Make sure that this is really what you want.
Now, because of the processing that I chose, it costs $12.40. And it tells me that I have processing going on, tells me where it's going, who it's being billed to, and all along the line, I have a way to edit this. But what is missing here, hang on. There is, that's weird. Okay, in this last step, step 4 of order review, and I don't know, it was here and now it's not here. Anyways, right here, there was and will be back a field, and it's a coupon code field. I have 3 coupon codes, well, 2 coupon codes for you guys that I have set up in this system. And the first one is for if you want to offer your librarians free processing. When they get to this step, they would enter the coupon code PROCFREE. So PROC free. That will then remove the processing charges from the order. It will also let us know in the office that you've offered free processing on the order. The other coupon code that I made is a 10% discount code. So if you wanted to give somebody that code so that they could take a 10% discount on their order, you would give them the code discount 10. And these are both in all caps. If you don't feel comfortable giving somebody the discount 10 code, and you will know who those people are that maybe you're not super comfortable giving it to, then I would suggest that you process their order through for them and you enter in the code. So they would do that here, and they would submit the order. Now, if I click submit right now, it is going to get sent here to the office, so I'm not going to do that. But I will show you something that we did get here today. Where is it? Oh my gosh. Here we go. Okay. Where is it? So, come on. Did I already move it? We actually did get a, here we go. dbooks.com order notification. We actually did get an order today, order number 133. And if I click on it, we can see whose order it was. Drum roll. Oh, no! This just worked a minute ago. I wonder if it's because we already took it off. We already took it off. Okay, we already pulled it off the website. Shoot. Well, anyways, it was Emily Hopkins' customer's order, and she sent it straight through the website, had no problems, and we now have it in the office, and it's percolating its way through the system. But this is how we will know now that orders get shot through the system. And if we go to, oh my gosh, mouse. Sorry, my mouse is just freaking out. Okay. So if we go into our system, we can see on the background, in just a second here, and currently the orders are dropping into Greg and myself. So we've got a fail-safe on that 2 people's emails are being pinged when an order gets put through the system. So right now I get an email, Greg gets an email, but then also I can go into my admin dashboard and see that 15 quotes have been written up. We have 53 users, 48 carts have been built, and 3 orders have come through our system. And here's Emily's customer. This is what came through earlier today for $1,175. And we can go in and we can actually pull the order right out of here, see the order, and I am going to accept the order. So now the order has been accepted. If somebody were to have paid by credit card, if we click paid, that's what triggers the credit card to be charged. So I get that you are all not doing this. However, I just want you to know how it works so that you'll get a better understanding of what we get when an order comes in. And it's just really, really cool. Alrighty. Going back out to the public side. Does anybody have any questions on the lists or the quotes? Go ahead and, if you do, type your name into the chat box and unmute yourself one by one as each finishes, because I think that'll just be easier. Viewer 26, if one of my customers doesn't say that I helped, do I still get the commissions for it? Okay. If it's one of your customers, they should say, you should let all of your customers know to assign, to select you when they are creating their accounts, or you should select you when you create their accounts. What we will do is, just like when Katie gets, let's call them old orders, that we don't know if the rep has worked on them or not, we'll give the rep in that territory a heads up and say, is this your customer? But we can also see in the background, like I just showed you, I can go into that customer's account and see what's what. But we will let you know. And if you worked with them, obviously, you'll get the commission. If this is somebody who found us from out there in the world and, they just placed an order, then no, but you will get the referral so that you can then make them your customer. How do customers pull up SL lists from the catalog? Really, really good question. All right, search for products. I have the curriculum catalog in front of me. And I am looking at a kindergarten time for, let's see, I'm going to pick a good set. I'm going to pick GRLR. So GRLR is SL157777. If that is all you enter, right now today, this will not be found. What you have to enter is 978, that 13-digit ISBN identifier 978. If you do that, then you get the collection, and, so that's that. Tim, currently the system will not accept anything in that ISBN and or search field that does not begin with 978. So he is trying to see, the customer doesn't know to add 978. So we are trying to see if he can bypass that current restriction. If he cannot bypass that current restriction, then we're going to have to put a little note right up there under the search for products thing saying that if they're looking for a list number, to please precede it with 978. So we're just waiting to get that answer from him. and we will go from there. When a quote lists individual titles, does it still list the name of the series those titles are from? You know what, Beth? That is a really good question, and that's something I actually started working on this week with our web developer, because I did tell, oh no, wait, I think I'm reading your question wrong. What I told the web developer this week is that it was essential that, unlike right now on our lists on the old website, is that the titles be listed, that you could have the ability to list the titles by collection, so that when somebody pulls up a list, it's going to make sense to them that all the titles are grouped by collection. So it's not just a random group of titles. But does a list of the series, are you asking if the series name appears as well as the individual titles appears? Or are you asking can it be grouped by collection? Because if you're asking if it can be grouped by collection with the collection line showing, that is what I have asked for. That's what we actually asked for originally. And as we have been working within these quotes and lists, I'm finding that I can't make it do that. So I did address that with him this week. Anybody else have any questions so far? Did I go over anything too fast? I'm sure I did. I'm just trying, I'm trying not to keep you guys forever. Will we be able to see the customer's username and password to be able to log into their account for them? You will be able to see their username. Currently, we can't even see their passwords on this new website, which is different than the old website. So that's something that, again, we just actually realized because we weren't, really working with customers up until just recently. So again, that is one of the things we just recently identified, and I'm asking Tim about that. Ultimately, I think that we should be able to see their username and passwords, at least on the admin side, and then we could always give it to you if we can't make it just automatically visible to the rep. But that's what I'm shooting for, yes. Also, can we tell when they log in themselves? Well, again, right now, no, but again, we are still in the process of fleshing out that customer information so that your dashboard is then also much more fleshed out. What you will be able to see on your dashboard is this. Oh, shoot. Okay. What you will be able to see on your dashboard, when you go to your sales dashboard, you have your customers list. If you click on your customer, you can see their purchase products, but then you'll also be able to see their quotes. So you'll know if they've been on if you look at their quotes. Can you change the question if you heard about Delaney through a local rep or if a local rep helped you with this order? I mean, yeah, we can do that. The wording needs to be altered. Everything on the, nothing on this website is set in stone. This is a first for me, developing a website, and Delaney certainly hasn't developed one in, I think, probably 12 years. So I'm definitely learning as I go here. So it's been a process, that's for sure. Okay, I'm going to sign out and sign in as librarian because I want to show you guys the collection analysis. I hope Darren loaded it in. Darren, did you load one in like we talked about?
Yes, ma'am.
Yay! Thank you. Oh, shoot. I'm doing it wrong. Sign in. Sorry, I'm trying to look at 3 different things at once here. Oh,
I don't think I did it under that account.
did you do it on the librarian test?
I think so. Is it?
It's the marketing.
Yeah, I think it was a marketing username. Marketing at books.
Okay, so if I go to my account, I'm a librarian now. Here's all the things I can do. And do you see here? Associate your account with a sales team. There are no sales teams in your area. For assistance, please contact. Your account is not currently assigned to a sales team. That is because I don't have a real address, and so it doesn't know where I am.
Let's go back.
But anyways, if I were near one of you, you would hopefully pop up here, and they could associate it. But I think we'll have to change this a little bit to put a drop down. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I can view my orders, I can view my quotes, but I can also manage my collection analysis. So I can either do a new one, and all they have to do, it's super quick. They upload their MARC file, they name it, you know, the typical questions about the school, and create, and that's it. Or, let's go back here, because I've already done that, or Darren has already done that.
See, now what's it going to show her, though?
And done one. So right now,
Yeah, it doesn't have a little graph. Oh, it does down here. Look.
here's your distribution by Dewey and recommended distribution.
You did it, didn't you? Yeah, I did
Age
it.
per Dewey. So you can see that it's a much nicer, cleaner report. It's also based on newer data than the collection analysis in our old website. And do you see this here? Check against cart. I can run this check to make sure that what I'm purchasing is not a duplicate.
Click it.
Click it. No items. There. So I think that's pretty nifty.
Click on the cart.
Click on the cart? Where?
Yeah, I thought I put one in there.
Oh, did you? You love messing
we'll
with...
that later.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Any other questions? Have I not covered something that you wanted covered on this? All right, let me show you something on advanced search. Advanced search, one of the things that you can do here, obviously, is search by all of these publishers. You can search again by that SL number, but again, it needs to be preceded right now by that 978. That will get answered here in the next day or two, and we'll get a little message up one way or the other. Series. You can do a series search, so that we could do in our old website too. The product type, set, or title. This enables you, if I like this, and I've been using this pretty much the whole time that I've been messing around in here. So if I'm looking for Abdo Kids, oh my gosh, this mouse, I'm about ready to throw it across the room. Brand new stuff in Spanish. See if we have any in here. This will be a test for Noel. But I only want sets, not in. Okay. 16. Why is this not working? Outdo Kids, Spanish, set. I love it when this kind of stuff happens. I don't understand why. I know that stuff's in there. Why it's not working. Okay, I gotta find out why the other one wasn't working. So when you select set instead of title, obviously all you get are sets. You can set as a customer or even as a as a rep. You can filter by product type over here, and you can even select one as your default. So if you do an advanced search and you do a super broad search, let's do something really stupidly broad. Airplane. Okay. If you do a search and you get a lot of results, you can then filter once you get into your results. I can now change it by copyright year. I can filter by, I don't know if that's going to screw me up. We'll try this. And so now I've narrowed myself down to 22. You know, so it is possible that if you do a search and you end up with a really big search result, that you then narrow it down once you get out here. Because sometimes when you run a search, obviously I knew airplanes was going to be large, but sometimes when you run a search, you end up with like, you know, whole bunches of stuff, and then you just realize that you need to really narrow yourself. So other than that, in advanced search, I don't think that there's that much exciting in here. This is one of the areas that I'm not super happy with, and I told him what I wanted, but I mean, this may be one of the rare cases where I don't get what I want. Let's look at the bottom of the page, shortcuts. There are some shortcuts. Some of them are like a search result, like this. So you can see that we have 214 pages of 2017 spring titles, and these are obviously learner titles here. But we have the library processing forms, the Delaney forms, frequently asked questions, you know, all of your typical things that you have, you know, on a website. None of them are earth-shattering. Gina wants to know if we have a Find Your Rep section. Yes, we do, but in trying to update it, Darren and I are not able. I think that the web developer entered this information way back in the summertime when we were first discussing this, and the page is, this isn't the correct term, but for lack of a better term, the page is hardwired right now by our developer. In other words, Darren and I do not have access to change it. So they're not exactly correct. You can see that there's really old information here, and quite frankly, Darren and I don't even know where this information was pulled from, and again, he and I can't even access it. So
Edye?
I don't know. Darren's been trying to fix it for the last 2 days, and
Can you hear me, Edye?
yeah.
I think I figured it out. I'm going to be able to update it today, I think.
Oh, you found it?
I think I figured out what's going on.
Oh,
Tricky.
okay. It's tricky,
But
yeah.
I'll let you know.
Okay. All right, well, that's good. So anyways, yes, Locator Rep is here, and now I guess Darren's figured it out. That's awesome, because as of 5 minutes before this call, we still couldn't figure it out. Cool. But again, you know, we always tell people to circle back around to the office and that we can always point them in the right direction to a rep too. The other thing is I asked you guys to, via share a little bit ago, to send in testimonials. There's a testimonials page as well as just testimonials that will randomly pop up here as a sidebar. And these sidebars do rotate every time somebody logs into the site. The other things that rotate anytime somebody logs into the site are these little guys right here. These rotate, and these actually take you to a book. And this isn't something that I set or tell the web developer to do. They're 100% random. So they're supposed to change every time. These new releases on the very first home page are also random. But all the Delaney featured collections, I enter myself. So on the library curriculum technology in Spanish, the only collections that show are the ones that I have selected, because they are the ones from our catalogs. And you can see, like I said, there is some fiction. I mean, there is some trade titles, and that's because they were on a list that was in this catalog. The rest of the trades are being added. Let's see. Oh, that's a good question, Emily. Search with the number of pages. I would have to see. I don't know, but that's a really, really good question. I like that one. I'm making a note. I'm making a note of that, and I'll let you know. All right. Anything else on any of these? Oh, technology. Right now, what's in for technology is the AbdoZoom databases, audiobooks, and new and top releases from Cerebellum. That's what we have in here right now for technology. As soon as all of the ebooks get loaded, I'll be adding ebooks to this page. And if anybody has suggestions for the technology page as stuff that could be up on here, I'd love to hear them. This has been like the least of my concerns throughout this whole process is this page. And just to let you know, we do not have playaways on this site, and we will not have playaways on this site. And just going through here really quickly, you can see that all the drop-down menus are formatted differently. And that's just, I don't know, we just thought it was fun to do it that way. Obviously, they can do quick searches this way, or they can go to advanced search. You know, there's all different, just myriads of different ways that they can just start out searching. And if there's no other questions, I'm going to get off the website and get into my tech stuff because I don't want to keep you guys much longer. Okay, I'm going to get off the website then. Okay, I used some questions. I used a couple of things that I was sent this week as kind of the basis for just giving you guys some tips and some tricks. And what reminded me of one of them was what Sue sent today. when she sent those Word documents with the images on them in response to Sophia's email. So here's what Sue sent. And obviously what Sue has done is she's copy-pasted right out of Ingram, and she's made a really nice and extensive sales sheet for herself. And I've spoken with Sue before about this, and she says that her librarians really require all of these reviews and just all the nitty-gritty information. So that's why she does it this way. This works for her. It is a copy-paste, and it doesn't require that you have anything other than Word. Okay? Now, here's one, and I'm going to close this. Here's one that I made. This is what I made and sent to you guys as a PDF. Hang on one second. My computer is thinking. Oh, well, it's for whatever reason not wanting. Okay, so I sent you a PDF last week, and it was this new career building series, and it was in PDF format. When I make PDFs, I will go grab the image, usually from Amazon. I will save the images